You know, DIY table saw, we've had some good times and we've had some bad times. But now, it's time for you to go.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the show. We need to make space for my table saw in the workshop, so that means today we are chopping the workbench. So let's not waste any more time and get right down to it.
Luke, I am Nomad Makes.
I wanted to keep the router table part of the workbench, so I measured and marked the final length I wanted the bench to be. Then I figured out how much I could chop from the downdraft part of the top. And I just added that to the router table part of the top, and I was ready to cut it. And for that I used my track saw or plunge saw. Then I could unscrew the top, but it needed to be beaten into submission, this one. For the second cut I turned on the psychedelic woodworking disco lights. Well, I have since figured out that iMovie sometimes finds a color so black that it doesn't know it's black. And I've figured out how to fix it in post-processing. But I bet you that Baby Vader had something to do with this. Oh, and there was a few screws that needed to be unscrewed. Then I could finally release my first ever circular saw from its prison. This one really doesn't owe me anything, and I have used it in anger, and it has tried to kill me at least once. But it has been used so much that the shaft bearing is worn down. Oh, and the top it has been sitting on is going to be a proud part of my tool wall from now on. The DIY table saw fence was an amazing upgrade to the workbench, and probably the sole reason I managed to use the DIY saw for so long, but now it goes as well. When you see me dragging this thing around the workshop, I guess you can understand why I am now putting this thing on casters. I could just chop off the legs, and then there was plenty of space on the bottom frame to mount the casters on. I also needed to cut a new pair of legs to size, and I thought it was a really good idea to film the back of my head while I did that on the miter saw. The new leg could then be glued and screwed into place, while I filmed some more of the back of my head. Some parts of the bench could just be broken off. And others needed a few love taps while I almost made an old mistake. And when I was gluing the second leg into place, Baby Vader was shooting lasers at me from the miter saw. A few taparoos from my persuader, and the leg was square with the lower frame. And then I could finally put this thing on casters. I chose one pair that are fixed and one pair that are rotating and lockable, like I did on the table saw stand build. And that was actually built after this video was filmed. I also got this crazy notion that from this angle it kinda looks like the workbench has a built-in washing machine and sewing machine. Oh well, I guess there goes all of my man points.
So the bench is now 5 centimeters taller than it used to be, and I'll see whether I like that or not. If not, I think we will start from scratch again.
So this chopper is definitely not a motorcycle. If you know which movie I am referring to here, please post in the comments below, especially if you are a fan of that particular director's videos. The quote is, "It's not a motorcycle baby, it's a chopper." And I'll give you a fun fact. When this was released on VHS in Norway, it was translated into what basically means, "It's not a motorcycle baby, it's a helicopter." You know, maybe Google Translate isn't that bad after all. But I'm sad to say that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please remember to leave a thumbs up. If this is your first visit to my channel, please consider subscribing. You'll find a Patreon link and affiliate links to products I use and recommend below. Cheers, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.